A man and his wife were headed home because they had relocated to mourn the loss of their stillborn baby.
Oh, yeah.
They had decided to come home, and I guess they were taking the bus. There was a bus stop in Arizona, Tucson, Arizona. They were sitting at the bus stop on their way home to Alabama. This happened just a few days ago. And a deranged black man took his head off with a hatchet. He was just sitting there. And and as far as I know, he's still clinging to life right now, but it doesn't look, all reports say it does not look good. A father of two, his head nearly totally removed in front of his wife, left in critical condition by a hatchet-wielding menace as the couple were in the middle of a cross-country trip home 1 year after their son's passing. Jacob Couch, 32, was sitting at a bus stop bench with his wife Tristan in Tucson, Arizona at 10 a.m. Broad daylight. 10 in the morning. Daniel Michael confronted the pair. Michael was allegedly carrying a hatchet through downtown Tucson and began yelling at the couple. Seeing your husband get almost decapitated and being the only one there to help, it's hard, his wife said. She recalled telling the stranger that they were just leaving as her husband had bent down to grab their bags when Michael then launched his terrible attack. And there's a picture. I mean, I'm sure you're all surprised. We'll skip that part. The ruthless brute cut an artery in his neck and it went so deep that it struck his skull. That's how deep it went. His head was hanging on by a thread. When found, he just told the police that he was drunk. That's why he did it. He was drunk and he thought this other guy was doing drugs for whatever reason. His family fears he will not survive the injuries after doctors diagnosed him with anoxic brain injury caused when the brain is deprived of oxygen for an extended period of time. He's not expected to make it. Couch's younger brother, Luke, said, who sat outside the hospital days before the attack. We've been taking it how we can. The couple, who's been married 11 years, had been living in LA for nearly a year after the stillborn of their son back in May of 2024. We were coming home because we just could not get it together. Like we needed our family, Kristen said. The two were on their way home to Alabama, where their 13 and 15-year-old daughters were waiting for them. I don't know why that's questionable why they ditched their kids, but okay. Maybe their kids were left ahead of them or whatever. They had been traveling by bus and were waiting there. He was a very non-confrontational person, my husband. He wasn't aggressive. He wasn't that kind of person. Michael was identified by police through security footage and was captured 3 days later. He admitted to being in the area, but denied attacking him. But of course, the police found the bloody hatchet and clothes in his apartment because these people are stupid. And, his brother said, if you're going downtown while drunk carrying a large machete like that, you have no other intentions other than to cause harm to somebody. It's hard to disagree with that.
Yeah.
Now, this happened weeks ago. I happened to take a look. Not $1 was raised for this guy. $500,000 raised for Carmelo Anthony. $170,000 raised for a gang member's wife, an illegal immigrant, illegal invader. And not one single GoFundMe that I could find anywhere, not one single dollar raised for this guy, who's going to die, most likely, or have brain damage.
Or live with just horrible damage for the rest of his life in an unbearable way, with pain and suffering forever.
Yeah, the hatchet got into his spinal cord and skull. Like, he may be paralyzed if he even does survive. And so I decided that I would start one for him and started it by putting $5,000 in it. That's about the most I could afford right now. You guys all know things are a little dicey, but
that's a lot.
I put $5,000 in there. It looks like it's already almost up to $10,000. I saw Meta PCs donated $1,000. Shout out Meta PCs. Meta PCs promo code Rumble if you're looking for a new computer. So if you want to help Jacob, it's at givesendgo.com/help Jacob. And I'm hoping my other fellow content creators get on it. I mean, if you think about it, $100,000 is barely going to cover his medical bills, probably.
Did you tweet it? I'm going to retweet it and get it out there.
I did tweet it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping,
asked kind of facetiously, I was like, where's the GoFundMe?
Yeah.
But, I was like, are they going to raise the GoFundMe for the attacker too?
Yeah.
now?
Well, yeah, almost certainly.
With the way that things are going.
Yeah.
No, this is a tragic case, man. I mean, if let's just be real with ourselves, if the races were reversed here, this would be nonstop mainstream media coverage of just how absolutely evil white men are. Wall-to-wall coverage 24/7, but the media, this is not a convenient narrative for them, so they're going to make sure that this story goes away and no one really cares about it except for the people like you and the people online that are actually willing to, of course, address it. Because like what the hell makes a person freaking try to hatchet someone's head off at a bus stop randomly? Like,
and this guy wasn't even on drugs. It's like he didn't even have like he was on a psychedelic freak out. These people hate us, and I don't understand how this happens. I don't understand not a single mainstream news article that I've seen, until today, finally. And I'm really hoping that, the GoFundMe goes crazy, and I hope it raises hundreds of thousands of dollars for them, puts both of his kids through college. I bet you that would be a really good outcome here. So if you're in the position, definitely go to the Give Send Go, throw a few bucks in. It adds up. And if you can't, you can still share it, and you can tell the story on your social media and your YouTube accounts and Twitter accounts, or you can go onto my X account and retweet it and share. It's wild. The story is absolutely bonkers. By the way, this guy has several other prior arrests. I thought I read. It's crazy to me. And I can't wait for he was a community leader. He was he just didn't do anything wrong, and he didn't,
self-defense.
It was self-defense.
Proportionate.
He called him the N-word, that kind of thing. This is the kind of stuff I'm talking about. Like, at some point, white people are going to get sick of this. Now, it feels weird to talk like that, but is it like, how long are white people supposed to keep getting, murdered by people like this? I don't understand it. And the unfortunate side of that is some white guy's going to do something crazy. That's what's going to happen. Our court systems don't keep these violent criminals in jail. They don't protect, people don't have Second Amendment rights. People get put in jail for protecting themselves. It's so crazy. It's just, the whole story's sad. Not a dollar raised for this guy. Nobody gave a crap. Father of two, had going through a mental health crisis. I assume that's why maybe his parents maybe the kids were with his parents or something like that. And this guy will probably get 5 years in prison and be right back out. So I'm hoping that, there's 27,000 people watching right now. I mean, if everyone donated $5, that'd be $100,000, so it adds up. Or if all 27,000 people shared it on their social media, we could really make a statement here. Put his kids through college, help his wife. I mean, his wife now had a stillborn baby and her husband killed in front of her in the same year. So I'm hoping, I'm hoping that people will do that. I guess that's kind of all I have to say about it. I'm hoping that, as Luke tells, and it's like this situational awareness, folks. If I could remind anybody of anything, it's situational awareness. You see some guy like this drunk, just get out of there. Just get out of there. Don't be worried about somebody calling you racist. It doesn't matter. Get out of the situation, leave, come back later. It's not worth it. There's no defense for some guy like, you're just sitting there. He's probably like, oh, I don't want to cause any trouble. Okay, well now, let this guy's, don't let his life be lost in vain. Learn from it. Take self-defense training, carry a weapon, and get yourself out of hairy situations. This guy wasn't doing anything wrong, literally sitting at the bus stop waiting to go home, and now he's no longer with us. So I hope people spread that around, and I hope that it just goes absolutely crazy, and I hope it raises them a ton of. I made a video about it too, and I hope other content creators will too. So with that, I'll check in with the comments. Tucson crackheads are a different breed. At least Seattle ones are predictable. Hope this guy pulls through. Dark humor to cope. IG, could you say, is definitely turned. You could say he turned to a real hatchet job. Oof. User Joe, how did nobody write the headline? 6 boss babes write giant fallacy edge of space. Yeah, I don't know. KW says, dude. Astro thoughts. Yeah, yeah. KW says, dude was also shopping at Target. I don't know what kind of people he expects he's going to run into. Stop going to places that hate you. Vote with your dollar. Good advice, too. Yeah. What about hygienic end argument? I've had numerous friends. Are you talking about circumcision? That had to get it done in their mid-30s despite being fervent about trying to keep it clean. That kept getting infections. I suspect that they were not. Yeah, I suspect they were not being fervent about keeping their body clean. And maybe they had some sort of individual health issue, and they had to do it. That's fine. But it keeps it clean is absolutely nuts.